During the Amish, you travel to 100 countries. So when I was 17 years old, me and my parents went to Canada to take advantage of their cheaper health care. And I had a tonsillectomy, I think it was called. I had my tonsils removed for around $700 US currency for an outpatient procedure. Now we went up the night before, and we spent the night with some relatives of my mother's that were Schwarzenegger Amish, and it was like my mom's second cousins or something like that. First or second, I think it was second cousins. And she wrote them a letter, told them that we were coming to spend the night. We spent the night there, and I think about 4 a.m. we left there and we went to Walkerton, Ontario, to the hospital. I remember we got a speeding ticket there for going like 175. Our driver said he didn't know the difference between kilometers and miles per hour, and he was confused, so the cop actually let him go with a warning. Another memorable thing was I remember we went to McDonald's, and me and my parents, all three of us, got something to eat. And we paid with $20 US, and they gave us change in Canadian currency, and we got $21 in change back. I remember thinking that was strange, you know. And there are some Amish in South America now, so there are some Amish that do travel. Historically, they haven't traveled much, except for the ones that have relatives in Canada. You can just, very little trouble, you can cross the border into Canada and go see your relatives. Now, we were detained for about 15, 20 minutes, and they were trying to figure out what we were doing there. They had to actually call back to our doctor in Fredericktown, and he cleared it up that yes, he had scheduled, a patient to have a procedure at a hospital in Canada. So they were like, okay, and they sent us through. No big deal. And then the day of the surgery, I was 17 years old. The day of the surgery, I kind of had some complications, and I remember like throwing up and stuff, and I couldn't swallow anything. My throat was raw, from the surgery. And so we ended up having to spend a second night in Canada. And we hadn't made any plans, and we were just traveling, and my mom was like, there is an Amish community near here. Let's drive this way and see if we can find some Amish houses. So we did. We drove around Canada in another country in the middle of the night. It wasn't the middle of the night, but it was dark, It was the middle of winter, January. Until we found an Amish house, and with a buggy parked outside. We went up and knocked on the door and asked if we could spend the night, or if they knew somewhere where we could spend the night. They said, sure, we have an extra room. Our son's just moved out, a couple years ago, and we have a couple extra rooms, and they let us stay the night. And it was just so random. One of the strangest memories that I have.